Guys? Broskiigamers here, coming at you with another rogue deck choice. Pretty anti-meta. I actually been brewing up this one since before the ban list dropped. This is honestly one of my favorite decks yet so far. It's got a lot of potential. Hopefully we'll get some more support a little later. I'm gonna say this before I get started. This deck requires a lot of patience. You gotta really know you really gotta know your matchups, honestly. And with this deck, I had to get out of the mindset of overextending. Sometimes it's better to hold cards in your hand rather than spitting them all up on the board. But I'll get into it. I thought I should start by saying that though. So 3 of the MO5, pretty standard. Obviously got to pay 3 of these. We don't really have too many little ones right now. The Mutant M-05, on normal special summon, you can add 1 mutant monster from your deck to your hand, except this card. You can tribute this card, then banish 1 card from your hand, or face up fill special summon 1 monster from your hand based on the banished card. So if you banish another monster, you get Beast out. If you banish a spell, you get Mist out. You banish a trap, you get Arsenal out. And I'll show you those when we get there. Mutant ST46, we also have to play 3 of these, because like I said, we're kind of options on babies right now. Same thing, if this card is normal special summon, instead of adding a monster, you can add 1 mutant spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. I honestly think this is the better one, because the spell and trap cards are they're kind of busted in this deck. You want to see those more than the monsters, because obviously M-05, you usually search in ST46. You're never going to search a big one. That just wouldn't make sense. The same tributing effect, tribute banish one of the corresponding, and obviously monster you get Beast, spell you get Mist, trap you get Arsenal. Yeah, but I do believe this is the best. Now for the big boys. 1 Arsenal, 1 Mist, 1 Beast. Beast is arguably the best. Arsenal is the one you go on the aggressive side with. So these can only be special summoned by the mutant card's effect. Let me get into this card's effect real quick. You can only use each of the following effects of Mutant Arsenal once per turn. When your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can banish 1 card from your hand or field, and then target 1 monster on the field, banish it. So it doesn't negate, but does banish it. And when this card is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can target 1 of your banished mutant spell or traps, add it to your hand. Spell cards, add it to your hand. Sorry about that. So this one definitely, so all these cards add something back. So in the grind game, you're really in a good position with this deck, because they all reoccur something. That's why this deck is all about patience. It's not necessarily about spitting up everything you can on turn 1. It's more looking forward to turn 3 and 4, and by the time you get to those turns, you're pretty much gonna have all the card advantage. So this one's special in the same way. You can only use each of the following effects of Mutant Mist once per turn. When your opponent activates a trap card or effect, quick effect, you can banish 1 card from your hand or field, draw 2 cards. If this card is its owner's possession, is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can target 1 of your banished mutant monsters added to your hand. And this one adds the traps, but yeah, obviously, like I said, they all reoccur something. When your opponent activates a spell card, quick effect, you can banish 1 card from your hand or field, negate the activation. So that's why this one's the best, because it's actually negating. It's negating something, It's the smallest, but it negates. Yeah, but this one brings back your traps. The traps are arguably the better of the mutant cards in general, so whatever. Next up, for some of the hand traps, 3D Shifter. Super good. Sometimes it just ends your opponent's turn, honestly. I don't know, let's solve this card. You have to have no cards in your graveyard. Pitch it. It's kind of game. They're probably not gonna do too much. And by the time turn 2, like I was saying, when you get later in the duel, you've built up more of a card advantage. So 3 Ash. This is just the most versatile hand trap in the game. I don't really know what else you'd run. I mean, you could run Valor, you could run Imperm. Imperm would be really good in this deck because I do run a Trap Trick. But Ashes is super versatile. It cuts off more decks. For the field card, just 2 Mutant Labs. It's incredibly searchable. I thought about running 1. I like 2 though. 3 is a little bit too much because it only does so much. When this card is activated, you can special summon one of your level 4 lower mutant monsters from your hand or that is banished. Mutant monsters you control gain 100 attack for each of your banished mutant cards. So you have Arsenal on the field. He kind of gets big kind of quick. Like it's pretty common for you to be sitting on like a 3500 Arsenal or a 2900 Beast, 3200 Mist. You know, it's not uncommon. Also, once per turn, during your main phase, you can place 1 mutant monster from your hand on the bottom of the deck. If you do, draw 1 card. You can only activate 1 of these once per turn, so obviously that's super good. Makes you more likely to draw into your floodgates because this deck runs a lot of them. Next, draw power, triple extra. You don't really need your extra deck that much in here. You only need like 2 cards out of your extra deck. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just essentially pot of greed in this deck. 1 Call by the Grave. Wish it was at 3. This just, you know, it's super sacky, but it ensures like when you have it in your hand, like your Extrava is gonna go off, your mutant cards are gonna go off. It's just a good one-off to have. Mutant Fusion. Now this gets you into your big boy. Typically, you know, you aren't searching this, but it's good when it comes up. Last one of spell card, E-Telly. This gets you to your mutant, so you're essentially running like seven of the babies. Those are like the most important cards of the deck. So this helps you get into it a little bit quicker. I wish they'd pull this off the list and at least bring it to like 2, but this deck would be absolutely busted if we had any more of those. Next up, for the trap cards, this deck runs a lot of traps. This is a control deck. Mutant Cry. Now this is your fusion card. Fusion summons 1 of your mutant fusion monsters from your extra deck by shuffling the fusion materials listed on it into the deck from among your cards on the field. In your graveyard and or face-up banished cards, you can only activate 1 of these once per turn.
Now, little known fact about Mutant Cry is actually that they're crying because they just listened to Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah, and that's not a mutant penis.
No,
that's not.
That's a driver's license.
All right, next up, 3 mutant expansion. This is pretty much your, what's that fucking alter guys card called? Personal spoofing. This is like your personal spoofing. This adds a baby to your hand.
And yes,
it's either add it or special summon it.
Did in fact say it adds the baby to your hand.
Yeah, the baby. It adds the babies to your hand. If a level 8 or higher mutant monster, this. Oh. If a level 8 or higher mutant monster, this card you control, would be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish this card you control. Instead, you only activate one of these once per turn. The only thing I wish it said was like instead of when you activate this card, if it said once per turn, you can add, you know, a mutant card. But it's great banish fodder. I mean, you know. Next, Floodgates. There can only be 1. Don't really need to say much about this.
And if you ever, if you take a real, like, clean look at there can only be 1, just like in general, if you've ever been, like, the traveling type, you can tell this does happen literally every time.
This happens.
You go to the airport. Every single time.
You will get, racially profiled if you're a skeleton, so.
Yeah.
Sorry, that had to take a turn, but 3 Solemn Strike. I thought about running.
The thumbnail?
I thought about running 3 Solemn Judgment. I was running 3 Judgment to protect like back row because people are main decking like Lightning Storm, Harpy's Feather Duster, but I think Solemn Strike just does more. Run Judgment in the side.
Yeah, and truthfully, if you're unaware, Keanu did recently win a physique contest. if you're like him, then you can just like forget about the judgment and bring your victory sword in.
Yeah.
If they play, you know,
Violent sword slash. That was
Yeah.
Sword Stalker's attack. Oh man, y'all don't remember that.
gosh,
It
said violent sword slash.
Crackdown, Snatch Steal.
Insane.
Snatch Steal negates your effects. It's pretty good
Can't do
because
anything.
you can Snatch Steal it and then banish it. You know, tribute your mutant, banish it for the cost of the effect, and they'll never see that card again. One of my personal spicy techs. No one plays this card in anything. This card is stupid. When a monster is summoned, this turn, that face-up monster cannot attack. Its effects are negated. Also, it cannot be used material for a fusion, synchro, seize, or link summon. Why does no one play this? Like, did anybody just read that? Did you hear that? The card's broken.
I mean, maybe comes back to the racism now.
That maybe because he's green. And then Tribe Trick to round it off. This card is broken though. Like, give it a try. It's always in style. All right.
Who do you think you are?
All right. So that's it for the main deck. Now let's get into the extra deck. The extra deck doesn't really matter. Ultimates is just broken. It takes forever to get into them, or I'm just a bad mutant player. But I also don't go for them because it's a high investment. So you have to actively try to get into this monster. When a card or effects, first off, it takes 3 level 8 mutant monsters, so you only run 3 of those in your deck.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying it's high investment. You would have had to burn through all 3 of those.
And you said just 3 level 8 monsters?
3 level 8 fusion monster. Mutant
3 level
monsters.
8 mutant
Yeah.
monsters.
When a card or effect is activated, quick effect, you can banish 1 mutant card from your hand, graveyard, or face up on the field of the same type. Negate the activation. If you do banish that card, if this fusion card you control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can add up to 3 of your banished mutant cards. 1 of each, basically. You can only use each effect once per turn. So, pretty broken. So he's Omnigate. He's big, 3,500. Especially with your Mutant Lab, most of the time you're like looking at a 4K Ultimus. Honestly, he's absurd, but it is a lot of high investment, which was a little bit easier to get out. This is really the only one you want to go into, because like on summon he pops a card. Then when your opponent activates its effect, you can banish when your opponent activates effect for the rest of the turn,
okay?
This face-up card is not affected by the effects of that card, so it's kind of crazy. And then when it's destroyed, you can add 1 of your banished mutant cards to your hand. So this is all you need to know about the extra deck. The next few cards are kind of silly, so I'm sorry. I'm actually hesitant to do this, but yeah. The next few cards are honestly kind of silly.
2 infusion monsters.
3 Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, 2 Last Warrior from Another Planet.
Wait, that's not 3.
Oh, did I say? I meant 2. 2 Mud Dragon of the Swamp. That's it for the fusions. I run 1 of these because I do run the Gamma package in my side. It's just a free monster.
Wait, isn't that a zombie monster?
Yeah, it is actually. 1 Cross Sheep, never really use it, and 1 BLS. Just because all your monsters are big, it's easy to go into. You kind of OTK your opponent out of nowhere. But that's pretty much it.
And real quick, I do want to say, if you're familiar, of course, with The Last Warrior from Another Planet, let me just go ahead and read this for you if you forgot. If this card is special summon, destroy all monsters you control. Destroy all other monsters you control. Neither player can summon monsters. Now, of course, if you're familiar with the card Archlord Christia and our Dark Lord build, go check that out if you haven't. You would know that card's pretty busted. Just being able to prevent you from summoning something. I don't think I need to tell you why that's busted up.
Yeah, so it brings the game to pretty much a halt.
In addition to that, the Last Warrior from Another Planet, if you look real close at him, he kind of looks like Chris Bumstead.
He kind of does. But that is it for this one. Like the video if you like the video. Please consider subscribing. Comment down below what you would change. Comment down below how broken you think Warning Point is. Check out our personal Instagrams. We'll have those in the link description. Check out our account, our main Instagram account. What's our main? Whatever. Fuck it. We'll put it in the description. Let us know what you want to see next down in the comments. Leave it down in the fucking comments. Kane, you got anything else to say?
Oh gosh, I'm on the spot here.
You got 2 seconds.
Sweatshirt by Jacob Sartorius.